Today I'm going to be telling you how to maintain straight hair for weeks, especially if you straighten your hair very little like me. This is the first time I've straightened my hair in a year. You want to make sure you enjoy your straight hair and keep it straight for as long as possible. So if you'd like to know how to maintain your straight hair and keep it straight for longer, stay all the way till the end because I break down every single thing I do. If you don't know me, my name is Angelica. I post videos twice a week, every single week on Wednesdays and Sundays, all about growing healthy natural hair and tips to maintain it just like this. So if that seems interesting, consider subscribing. The subscription button is right down there as well as the bell icon. Make sure you hit the bell so you get notifications every single time I post. Let's get into it. The first thing you can do to maintain your hair and make sure it lasts straight for as long as possible, as long as you want to keep it straight, straighten your hair when it is cold and dry. Now, I don't know where you live. I know there's lots of places where it just happens to like rain all the time or the weather is very unpredictable. I'm sure you have like certain seasons where at least for a month you have drier weather and quite cold weather. And I would suggest that anything below 65% in humidity is best. Now, if you're wondering, how am I going to know that? Just check your weather app on your phone. And if you don't have a weather app on your phone, Google the weather and just check the humidity. If it's over 65%, your hair is probably going to start reverting. If it's under that, then you know you're probably in luck. So cold and dry, or if it's slightly warmer, at least if it's dry with very little humidity, your hair is going to last longer. As you can see, my hair is not as flat as it can be, like in front there. It's kind of reverted a little bit, and some of the ends like have reverted a little bit as well. It's not as straight as it could be because I straightened my hair a little bit too early. I couldn't stand my ends and I just had to get rid of them. So I don't plan to keep this for like 4 weeks like usually. I would do that when I straighten my hair in like another month from now, maybe almost 2 months. Then it's going to be like the coldest it's going to be, and I know my hair can stay straight for a much longer time. But yeah, that's why I didn't care too much because I knew I'm not going to keep it for that long anyway. But if you want to keep it long before you straighten it, make sure it's cold and dry, or else you're just setting yourself up for disaster. So this is the second point. This might help you, especially if your hair is already straight and you're like, look, the humidity is high, okay? The weather is already hot, but my hair is already straight. So that first tip didn't do anything for me. I need you to actually tell me something that will help me right now. Okay, the second thing you can do is do not over oil your scalp. Okay, if you oil your scalp too often, it is going to weigh your hair down. Your hair is going to be so heavy, it's going to be sticky, and it's going to get to a point where it just doesn't look good anymore. So you're just going to have to wash your hair, okay? So 1 to 2 times a week is all you need. And when you do oil your hair, don't use too much. Just use very little. If you're scared that you might pour too much on your scalp or anything, your best bet is putting it on your fingertips and then just putting your fingers in your scalp like this and going ahead and doing a nice little scalp massage. And that is the best way you can do it without putting too much oil on your scalp, because even if the oil is on your scalp is pretty warm whether you do a scalp massage or not. The oil is going to start running down your hair and it's going to lead to very, very nasty looking hair. So the next thing is every 3 to 4 days you want to moisturize your hair even while it is straight. And now we are going to go into a little demo so I can show you exactly how I moisturize my hair, because I know that a lot of people end up with extremely dry hair after their hair has been straight because they don't want it to revert, so they don't moisturize it and they don't do anything like that. So let's get to the demo. Okay, so we're just gonna do a quick demo. So I usually do my hair in 2 sections when it is straight. So just part down the middle. I will clip one section up. So we'll start with this section. So you can use any moisturizer that is quite thick and not water-based. Like if it doesn't feel watery, I've used the Shea Moisture, what is it called? Marshmallow root and something. That is a leave-in that is pretty thick and it doesn't feel very wet. But the thing is, you have to use very little. Now, because my ends are reverting a lot, especially in the back because of the heat and the humidity, like it was cold on the day when I did my hair, but now it is so hot, like not even like hot for the cold season. No, like hot, okay? And the humidity is high, like even right now. So right now I've been using the Amika, the Closer Instant Repair Cream. This is what it looks like. And this is actually meant for the ends of your hair. It's supposed to like mend your ends, but you know, nothing can mend your ends. The only way you can get rid of split ends is to cut them off. But if you have hair like mine that starts to revert, your ends will start to look like split ends even though they're not. So this just improves the appearance of them. So I literally take that much. I rub it between my palms and then I focus this on the ends of my hair, and then whatever's left over, I take it up to the rest of the hair. And you really need very little. You don't want to feel like your hair is damp. It just shouldn't feel dry in terms of lacking moisture. So once you do this, you just want to go ahead and comb the same way you'd comb your hair when it is curly. So you start from the bottom up and work your way to the top. So you can see my hair is still pretty straight. It's just not as straight as it could be if the humidity wasn't as high and it wasn't as hot. So can you see my ends there? They're reverting a lot. They look like split ends, but it's not because I got rid of those. And then now to seal it in, I would suggest you seal it in with a serum instead of an oil. If you use an oil, however, you can use a dry oil. And I had one by Tresemme. I don't know if they make it anymore. It was by that Botanicals line or something. The other one is, I think, OGX makes an oil, like an argan oil in like a goldish thing. And that one is pretty good because it is argan oil, but it does have some silicones in it, I believe. So that will help not make your hair revert, because natural oils have quite a high water content, so they can also make your hair revert. So if you're not using a serum, you can use a dry oil. So I'm going to be using the Amika Glass Action Universal Elixir. This is what I used when I was flat ironing my hair as well, just to give it some shine. So not only does this moisturize your hair, it also gives it a lot of shine. So I just put like very little. Also, if I didn't mention, this is not a sponsored video. So the same thing I did before, I do this as well with the ends. I start at the ends and then I work my way to the top. So as you can see, I'm using very little product. If my hair was curly, I would literally, this would fit like on one side of my head. Okay, so once that's done, I go ahead and comb through again. And this is just to help the product evenly distribute into my hair without weighing my hair down. Because if you put a bunch of product in one spot as well, that can easily weigh your hair down. So while I'm doing this side, I'm going to give you our next point. And so now the next point is hopefully going to ask a question that a lot of people ask, which is, how do I prevent my hair from reverting when I go to the gym or when I work out? Unfortunately, there is no way to prevent your hair from reverting after an intense workout that makes you sweat. So the best thing I can say, the best advice I can give you if you want to work out, is to work out in short intervals, like 5 to 10 minutes, and take breaks, like 20 to 30-minute breaks, and then go ahead and do another little interval so that you can work out without sweating. Because if you're like me, when I sweat in my hair first before I even sweat on my face or on my body. My hair sweats first. Maybe it's because I have a lot of hair. I don't know. But my whole, like, if my hair was in a bun, the whole back of my head would be completely wet if I do like a super intense workout, especially if I'm lifting weights. So the only thing I would suggest is walk. If you want to keep your activity, you can walk for up to an hour a day. And walk slowly, especially when it's cold. I mean, you should have this when it's cold anyway, but you can walk for longer without sweating when it's cold. Wearing your hair in a tight bun can definitely help a little bit because your hair stays in a stretched state just in case it reverts just a little bit. But there's absolutely no way to completely prevent it because sweat is basically the same as water or anything like that. If you put it on your hair, it's going to make your hair revert. The fifth tip is Do not take any steaming or hot showers. I know some of these may seem like they're obvious, but I've done it before. I was like, I'm so tired. I've had a hectic week and my hair is straight, so I can just throw it up in a bun and let me take like a nice hot bath in like steaming water. And the whole back of my head reverted because you're not going to take a cold bath, okay? And if you're in the shower and you take a steaming hot shower, steam is basically vapor, okay? That means that your hair is filled with water. And it's going to start to make your hair slowly revert. And the more you do it, the more it's going to revert. Just take warm showers. They don't have to be cold. Just no steam. Number 6 is more like to keep your hair looking nice and to prevent breakage. And it's something I've actually already shown you just now. And that is to comb your hair from the bottom up, okay? Don't just yank your hair down because you're going to start experiencing breakage, which I'm sure is something you don't want because the more broken hair you have, the more untidy your hair looks. And when you revert back to curly, you also start to see the damage you've done. Okay, so number 7 is to keep your ends off your shoulders and off your clothes and just off everything. If you're just in the house, like, right now I'm filming a video, so my hair is down and everything. But if you're not going anywhere, you're literally just walking around in the house, keep your ends off. You can put your hair in a bun, you can clip it up. Here's my favorite way to wear my hair. I'll get either a clip like this. I don't recommend clips every day though because they can pull your hair out. Get my hair back like so. Twist it, wrap it around my finger, and then just put in my clip. And that way my ends are up and it will lead to less damage and split ends with your hair. Also, less friction, so your ends are going to be much nicer and smoother. If I don't do that, this is actually what I do more often. I will take my satin scrunchie and I will just tie my hair like so. And then I'll just flip it up like that. This is what I do much more often. And then if not, you could do the same thing but like higher up, a higher bun. Okay, the 8th one is unfortunately something I don't have a physical sample to show you, and this is dry shampoo. Dry shampoo really helps with dandruff and oiliness, and if your hair starts to get like really flat at the roots, dry shampoo is amazing for that. It'll keep your scalp feeling nice and fresh and clean. It's going to reduce on like dandruffs and flakiness or anything like that, and it will also give your hair like a little bit of volume and just suck up any excess oils. Now the reason I have no sample is because there's literally nowhere to buy dry shampoo here. I've never found any dry shampoo, and I can't ship in aerosols from any of the courier services that I use. So unless a company directly sends me dry shampoo, I will not have it on this channel. Or if I find some in a store here, then maybe I'll buy some dry shampoo. It's something that I don't get the access to use, but if I did, I would definitely have it all the time. If you watch any straight natural or any person who keeps their hair straight for a long time, they always have dry shampoo. So if you have it where you are, I highly suggest you get it if you want to keep your hair straight for a long time. However, if you just want to keep it for 1 to 2 weeks, there's no need to get it. It's just an additional product that you don't need. The next thing is to always wrap your hair at night. Now there's 2 ways to wrap your hair, especially if it's like when your hair is like silky fresh and like the first week that you do it and your hair is looking your best, you want to wrap it a certain way. But then moving forward, when you get to a point where you're like, okay, I just don't want my hair to get tangled, there's a different way to wrap it, which is my favorite way to wrap it because it's usually like the least amount of effort. So what you need to wrap your hair is a comb, a brush, a satin scarf, or I see a lot of people use like a do-rag. You can use that as well, but I don't like them. I don't like anything being like on my neck. I guess maybe you could fold the back up, but I don't know. I find that's just too much work. You could use it without a bonnet, but I choose to use it with a bonnet. So I'll start with the more difficult one first, which is basically how everyone is taught to wrap their hair. And first I just comb it in the direction that I want to wrap it. And also, if you'll be wrapping your hair every day, I suggest you change direction so that you don't get any damaged hair in any certain points, your edges, your ends, or whatever. It just makes a difference to change direction. So first I use my wide tooth comb to comb it where I want to go. Then I use my Denman brush because this is what's going to help lay it flat and actually stay where I wrap it. So as you're wrapping, you want to go ahead and still brush your hair from the ends, then work your way to the top. So you can use clips if you want, but they get in the way for me, so I choose not to. Clips or bobby pins. So once I get to this point, I start brushing this way. And usually where it all goes downhill is the swirl on top that always unravels. So once I reach here, I do this, and once that little curl happens, I hold my hair down there. And I just start brushing round, making sure to hold my hair by the swirl so that it doesn't unravel. And I push it back, and I come down the same way just to make sure it stays flat. And because I don't use any pins, I need to make sure it kind of sticks together. Okay, so once you have a rough wrap like that, now I go ahead with a coarser brush, which will actually smooth the hair out and make it lay flat. And this is also where all those oils you put in your hair will infuse nice and well. So also when I do moisturize my hair, I prefer to wrap it like this so that my hair can just have a smoother appearance and everything can absorb better. Okay, so my wrap is done. Now I go ahead and take my satin scarf, which is the OG, this one, it ain't going anywhere, and I tie my hair from back to front, so I do that. Then I twist it over, tie my hair at the back, so it's tied like so. Then I just pull this, and if there's any hair under here, I just tuck it in. And then this, I tuck it there. Then I twist it around once or twice to make sure that my hair is laying even more flat, and the satin from this just helps it lay even more flat. So I just twist it around my head like that. Usually it's just once until this tie from the back is back where it was and the front is back to where it was. So like that. So if you want, you can go to sleep just like this, but I find that this is not secure enough, and I don't know, sometimes it can just unravel. So I just take my little bonnet and I put it on so that in case this unravels, at least my hair is still going to be in that like swirl direction, and it's going to stay in my bonnet, and when I sleep, I just take it off and I'm done. So this is the more difficult way, and what you want to essentially do to keep your hair looking nice and smooth for longer. But once it get to a stage like where my hair is right now, because it's been so hot and humid, this will help, but it's really not going to fix my hair that much because the damage is done. Also, don't put your comb like this and comb through to unwrap your wrap, because that will cause breakage. So you want to do it in the opposite direction of how you put it in, and you want to keep going round until you get to the place where it's completely unraveled itself. Okay, so now that's all unraveled. The second way is my favorite way because least amount of effort still gets the job done. So I make a line basically in the middle of my hair, and after it's combed, I go ahead and take my brush and brush it down. You could also put your hair in a bun, by the way, but I don't like the idea of that. I think it's damaging to hair, and it's also not comfortable to sleep in wherever the bun is. All you need is 2 bobby pins. I divide my hair in half at the back. Then I cross them over, like so. Hopefully you could see that. So you can see even the front is kind of pulled. Then I let go of one side and I pin one side there. Okay, that's pinned down. Then I go to the other side and do the same thing. Push this down, bring this one over. And sometimes I twist, it just depends. Did I pin it? I pinned it too forward. So yeah, it's pinned there. This here is fine. It'll sort itself out. So now I get my scarf and I tie it exactly the same way I tie it for the other type of wrapping. And this will push those little ends down once I do this. The only difference is there's no twisting around with this one because the hair is in opposite directions on both sides. And I pull this, tuck it over so it's not falling in my face. So I just feel where the pin is and I just push it out. Okay, push that out. I go ahead and put on my bonnet and I go to sleep. And when I wake up in the morning, same as the last one, except there's no combing in a circle or anything like that. I just take it out and it's done. If this video helped you, make sure you give it a big thumbs up and let me know what else you'd like to see from me. Hit my face right there if you didn't subscribe in the beginning. Watch the 2 videos on the side of the screen right here if you'd like to see any of my older videos. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!